Have you ever wondered what it takes to get 90 marks in PTE reading when you have tasks like reorder paragraphs, which is like insanely tough that it makes you pull your hair out? I've watched 500 hours of the best YouTube videos that's available out there on reordering paragraphs in PTE reading, and I'll tell you what I learned in this video. So today I'm going to reveal the most popular method, also known as super method, that I teach my students to really ace at this question type, which is PTE Reorder Paragraphs. The secret trick that my students use to get 90 in PTE reading. Without further ado, let's get started. Before we get started with the method, I want you to know some facts about this question. You're going to get roughly 2 to 3 questions of this type, and you should and only should take 2 to 3 minutes per question, and it's going to contribute towards your reading score. It is not an integrated scoring question. Let's talk about scoring. The way you're scored, it's not based on the number of sentences in the output. Rather, it's based on the order of the sequence, or the sequence of the sentences in the output. So, if you've got all the 5 sentences in the right order, 5 sentences, that means you've got 4 sequences between them. That means you're going to get 100% marks. But if you've got 2 sentences misplaced or incorrectly ordered and 3 sentences in the correct order, that means you've basically just got 2 correct ordering and 2 incorrect ordering. So you get 50% of the marks. That's how the marking works. Alright, the method that I'm going to teach you today is called the KPL method, or it stands for key nouns, pronouns, and linking words. KPL. Now, the unique thing about this method is that you need to use this method along with one of these logical sequences. Let me change the pen color. So you've got time. Time is like when your paragraph or the paragraphs in the question contains any mention of year or things like days, like yesterday, today, tomorrow, etc. The next logical sequence is contrast. So your paragraphs will be talking about one thing, and then it's going to talk about the next paragraph may talk about a completely opposite thing. So that's when you have to use the logical sequence of contrast. And the third thing is importance. So if you get a series of paragraphs that is talking about a decreasing order of importances, so most questions of importance type will talk about the most important stuff, like the rank 1 and then rank 2, 3, and in a decreasing fashion, so the most important to the least important stuff. So there is an inherent sequence when talking about this type of question, which involves importance logical sequence. So the key is to identify from your given paragraphs which of these logical sequences is the question, and the next thing that you need to do is identify these 3 things: key nouns, pronouns, and linking words. So key nouns are the main subject, or the main subject that the paragraph is talking about. So in this example, we can see all the paragraphs shown here are talking about water coda. The next thing that you need to identify within the paragraphs is pronouns. So pronouns are words used to refer key nouns in the passage. For example, supporting it refers to water coda. So pronouns denote the key nouns in a sentence. And then the final thing is linking words. Linking words are usually at the start. So this, still, in reality. So these are linking words. These link paragraphs or sentences together. time for practice. I want you to pause this video and try to attempt this question on your own, and then let's solve this together. I hope you've attempted this question on your own. Now let's solve this together. Now we've got 4 paragraphs here. Let's read them one by one. Still, marketing campaigns continue to promote the idea of specific water quota despite little scientific evidence supporting it. So as you can see here, it has a linking word. So this needs a sentence before it and after it. So definitely that's not the first sentence. Let's move on to the next one. This illustrates how much information can shape health habits. Again, this is a linking word. It's gotta need a sentence before and after it. Let's move on to the next one. In reality, much of the water we need comes from the food we eat as well as beverages like tea and coffee. In reality is a contrast word, so it's comparing something with this statement. So again, we cannot push this as a first sentence, so I would mark this one as number 1 because it is starting it does not start with the linking word or a contrast word. So health experts often emphasize the importance of hydration, yet the claim that humans need to drink 8 glasses of water per day is largely a myth. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be, if you look at these sentences, which sentence seems like the next best option? So you need to identify, according to the KPL method, you need to identify what these paragraphs are talking about. Key noun here is water, and there's different pronouns being used for it, like it. Solving this type of question, after identifying the K, P, and L, the next thing that you need to identify is which type of logical sequence does these paragraphs follow. So upon inspection, it is not time-based logical sequence. It is also not importance-based logical sequencing, but it looks like a contrast because I see words like in reality, which is a contrast word. So we've got KPL and the logical sequence. Now let's look at these paragraphs and see, after identifying the first option, that's the first paragraph, let's see if the contrast sentence fits in here. So health experts often emphasize the importance of hydration, yet the claim that humans need to drink 8 glasses of water per day is largely a myth. In reality, much of the water we need comes from the food we eat as well as beverages like tea and coffee. So these 2 sentences fit together, right? Because the author here says that humans need to drink, the claim that humans need to drink 8 glasses of water per day is largely a myth, and in reality much of the water that we need comes from beverages like tea or coffee. So that is a contrasting statement, and these 2 will fit together. So in that case, this should be number 2. Now let's look at sentence 3 and 4. Still, marketing campaigns continue to promote the idea of specific water quota despite little scientific evidence supporting it. This illustrates how much misinformation can shape bad health habits. So this is referring to the marketing campaigns here, and that makes this, the linking word this, connected to this, connected to the first paragraph. So that makes this as number 3 and this one as number 4. Let's see. Yep, that seems to be right. Let's look at one more example so that you'll be clear of this logical sequence type. I want you to again pause this video, try to attempt this on your own, and then let's solve this together. Okay. Now, if you read through the paragraphs, you can see that this is a linking word. However, seems like a contrast word to me. Traditional education theory, that looks like that doesn't look like a linking word or a contrast word. For example, is again a linking word. So that means this should be the first sentence. Traditional education theory suggests that students learn best when they are given ample time to master each concept individually. Now, pretty sure you might have already identified it, but if you ask me what is the logical sequence of this, or what is the logical sequence type of these paragraphs, I would say it is a contrast, because I found the word however. However is used when you want to show the contrast between two statements. Now, let's read these two sentences, the second and third paragraphs. I'll read the third paragraph first because that's our first paragraph. Traditional education theory suggests that students learn best when they are given ample time to master each concept individually. However, recent studies demonstrated the effectiveness of interleaved learning, a method in which different topics are mixed during practice sessions. So they're talking about two different things connected by the contrast word, however. So that makes this number 2. Now let's see which sentence comes next. Let's read the first and the fourth sentence. This phenomenon challenges the idea that focused, repetitive practice is always the best approach. For example, students solving math problems from various topics in a single session often outperform those who focus on a single type of problem at a time. This sentence seems to be closely related to whatever it's being mentioned in number 2. So, and this looks like, for example, is a linking word, and this looks like it is linking the statement that is mentioned in paragraph 2 by giving an example. So that looks like number 3. And finally, let's read the fourth paragraph. This phenomenon challenges the idea that focused, repetitive practice is always the best approach. So this phenomenon challenges, that means the mixed practice challenges the idea that focused, repetitive practice is always the best approach. This is again linking word, linking number 3 to the last sentence. I hope you've got that right. Now, if you need more such practice questions and lessons, head over to pteauthority.com. There's like heaps of free lessons and practice questions available on the different logical sequencing types that you've discussed during this method lesson. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and happy learning.